All right, what's up, guys? Today's day number 16 of grinding until I become a millionaire. These are just my daily check in videos where I talk about what I'm working on, what my goals are, what I'm sucking at, just everything. So, I have a small social media agency. I'm trying to grow it. And yeah, this is my journey. One thing I realized towards the end of last year is that I think I need to find more purpose. And it's got me thinking about my goals a little bit different than it has been. Like, you can look back, I did about, I don't know, a couple hundred check-in videos in 2023 and 24. Now we're starting over with these in January because I feel like the mission's shifted quite a bit. And every week it changes a little bit more. But the goal was like a lot of money early on. And now that goal has changed to, I'm just trying to figure out how to feel happy and fulfilled. And I think I lost sight of that. That used to be my number one priority when I was younger. I was like, oh, just do things that make me happy and fumble around until I figure it out. And then I started this social media agency to really get myself out of just like a bad spot. And it is working good. I'm making okay money. And I think there's a big scalable factor to it. But it's stressing me out and I don't know how happy I am. And so there's just a lot of different pieces with that. You think about success and happiness and like, are they necessarily correlated? I don't know. It's hard to say. So that's kind of the journey I'm on right now. Is like, okay, well, obviously I want to be successful, but I also want to be happy. And so how can we balance the two things? As you know, the female situation has been stressful. And after today, it's kind of in a new chapter. I don't know exactly what's going to happen with it, but I'm not stressing about it. I'm just working on myself, my business. Whatever happens, happens, and that's it. And I think I had a friend call me yesterday, and this was great because he's like, "Hey, dog, how you doing?" And I'm like, "Fucking stressed." That's how I'm doing. Stressed to the max all the time, 24/7. He's like, why? And so I was just telling him like different things, right? That whole situation, but some stuff with the business, just a lot of things. And he's like, okay, well, it was really good talking to him because he has a different perspective on a lot of things. And, ultimately, a lot of the things that I ran into were on me. And I can learn from that, which is cool. Again, I don't know what the outcome's going to be, but it's like being so tied to an outcome puts you in a powerless position, right? And that's the hard thing with the control is like I can be tied to a business outcome because a lot of that's in my control and I can do the things to line that up. But when it's other people, that's so hard to do. But he mentioned, so I put this post on Instagram, and since that post, there's been a handful of people like kind of reach out, like interested, which is weird. It's just different because the post wasn't like about that. It's just like, hey, here's what happened last year. Wow. But they reached out and I'm like, what the fuck? And I was telling him and he's like, well, that's not really a bad thing. He's like, if somebody wasn't interested in the old version of you, but then you build yourself up to be a new version, a better version, he's like, honestly, people who are interested in him currently, who aren't just a little bit out of his league, he feels like aren't for him because they're like, if they're interested in him currently, him going to the place that he wants to get at, same with me going to the place that I want to be at, is like, means that I'm not there yet, if that makes any sense. I'm having a hard time articulating it. But essentially, if I'm a 5 right now and I'm interested in somebody and they're not interested in me because I'm a 5, but then I become a 7 and then they're interested in me, it's like, okay, well, maybe I didn't want to be with that person if they were interested in me at a 5 because now I've outgrown that, right? Like now I'm a 7 and they're in the 5 leagues, like they're still dating and talking to the 5s, but now I'm a 7 and I'm stuck with this person, right? So it's like you almost want to find people who who don't even like you yet because you're like a fucking 5 and you're trying to get to a 10, and the closer you get to 10, the more like people have different standards, right? Like some of these people could date athletes, they could date rich 30, 40-year-olds, right? And it's like, okay, well, I want someone perfect. Now, I don't completely agree with that whole thing still, but it was an interesting perspective. I think I want to find somebody who believes in me and is also as willing to grow as I am. That's the big thing. I don't want to find somebody who's happy where they're at, because we have so much time left to grow and get better. And what I worry about is if I find somebody who's happy where they're at, they're going to try and hold me back to keep me from making them uncomfortable as I grow and as I learn. And so, I don't know, just thinking about all that stuff has been pretty interesting. One thing I did was not much yesterday. It was like really an open day for me to just focus on whatever I needed to and relax. And so today I woke up and my sleep score was a 75 and my stress rate is low. And it's been like, I got this Whoop. I keep track of those things, and it's been good. And that's where I need to be. I need to make sure I'm resting and recovering, because I've had really good focus and energy today. Like I guess I'll have to talk about all this in the next check-in video, because this is for 16. But taking that little bit of time to rest and relax has been good. I took Joey to the dog park. We hung out. She ran around like a crazy person. And overall, I'd say it was a pretty good day. Towards the business, we didn't set too many goals except thinning it out. Like I said a few check-ins ago, I really got to get lean with the business. I think I wrote out like most of my expenses, and I've got like $5,000 in expenses. And I looked at things that I really don't need, and I was like, cool, there's another $2,000 right there. Like I just need to chop these things off and figure out how to do without them and save an extra $2,000 a month. That would be wonderful. That would be a Cybertruck. That would be a Raptor. Like, what the fuck? I got all these wasted expenses. But it's like getting back to figuring out, okay, who's the right person for the right thing? And I was getting stressed yesterday with some of my team members, not because they're bad or anything, but because I'm not very good. Like where I was talking about the failure thing yesterday is like, I'm not efficient enough to handle the right people or know what I need or get the right task to the right person. And so that kind of weighs on me, where I'm like, shit, if I was better, I would be better at handling those things and delegating and setting expectations, but I'm not, and I'm trying to be. So anyway, lesson for yesterday is just to focus on the journey and not the outcome. I think that's the thing, and I do that a lot. I've already played out every possible scenario of anything. Like if I have a meeting on Sunday that's pretty important, and I've already played out what it looks like if it goes good and what it looks like if it goes bad, and I'm good. Like I've felt the emotions, I've checked in, and I'm like, cool. This is either going to make me a lot of money or I'm going to be right where I'm at. And I'm cool. Like I've played it out though. And same thing, I've played it out. So sometimes that robs me of the actual experience, because I've already gone through it, and in both forms. Like I've already gone through the positive and the negative, and felt it. So is that good? I don't know, but it's just what I do. So anyway, that's it for day 16. We'll see you guys tomorrow for day 17. Thank you so much for watching and being a part of the journey.